Once a week for a year? Yes? Okay, see you there. So, yes, I am crazy. If you didn't know I was crazy before, you definitely know I'm crazy now because we are going to do a 2 year plus investigation of what Prince did every week.
So I love this idea. I love the commitment of it. And I think that every Saturday, make sure we ready to go. Now imagine if we really was doing it like Prince, we'd be doing this every day. So we just getting a little taste of the commitment, the discipline, and then, like I said, it's a good study thing. And what I love about it, quickly, I would say, is when you start to read it and you get to a certain song, it's like, oh man, I want to go play that song. Like, oh, okay.
So, week one, 1983, we got 2 live shows and we got 2 studio visits. The 2 live shows were the Summit in Houston, Texas, and we also have Lake Charles Civic Center. And then the studio visits were for Little Red Corvette, the 12-inch overdubs and mix. This week, Prince actually had 3 studio visits in 1983. On Monday, January 10th, he did an edit for the single release of Gigolo's Get Lonely 2. On Thursday, he did some more 12-inch edits for Little Red Corvette. And then for me, I was most excited about the Drive Me Wild 12-inch probable edit. And then on Friday, he did January 14th, Electric Intercourse, basic tracking overdubs. And then he also did some more overdubs mixes for Drive Me Wild. And he did some more overdubs and mixes and copies for Little Red Corvette. So, what did Prince do this week? Early to mid January 1983. And with wonderful ads, we got basic tracking and overdubs. You know, it was an unreleased track until we got it with the Purple Rain Deluxe Expanded Edition, which came out in 2017. And I'm going to put you in on a little secret. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is trying to send a purple signal to Duane that we love these books so we can at least get 2 more books. And hopefully in the order of 87, 88, and then 81, 82. But I won't be mad if it's 81, 82, as long as it's 87, 88, or 89. But I really want 87, 88, 89, Duane. So Duane's book starts with 1983, not 1982, but we're about to get into the second leg of 1999 tour, which is in 1983. What was happening in 1982 of November, 16 shows total. And then in December, he had 19 shows total. All right, now we're at week 5.
Mm.
We are on the 1983 leg of the tour, and he did 5 shows this week. So he performed at Lakeland, Florida, Savannah, Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, Greensboro, North Carolina, and Richmond, Virginia. Week number 6. In 1983, we got 3 live shows and 1 studio visit. We got Roanoke, Virginia on the 6th. He went to the studio to do some keyboards on Stevie Nicks' song Stand Back. And then Little Red Corvette was released on February 9th, 1983. Then he did a couple dates, one in Providence, Rhode Island, and then another one in Hartford, Connecticut. Let's get into week 7. Prince does 6 live shows for the 1983 leg of the 1999 tour. He has 2 dates in DC. He has a date in North Carolina. He has one in Macon, Georgia. And then he has one in Tallahassee, Florida, and one in Jacksonville, Florida. So one thing that I've decided to do is if it's in red, that means that that show has sold out. So the Tallahassee, Florida show sold out, and the Jacksonville, Florida show also sold out. This week, Prince did 5 live shows on the 1983 leg of the 1999 Triple Threat Tour. First date this week, Mobile, Alabama on a Sunday. Tuesday, Prince was in Greenville, South Carolina. Thursday, he was in Buffalo, New York. Friday, East Lansing, Michigan. Then on Saturday, Toledo, Ohio. Let's dive into week 9. This week, Prince did 5 live shows. One of them sold out in Baltimore, Maryland, on March 5th. And then he also did the basic tracking of Katrina's paper dolls. And we have some, let's see, some fact checking to do about Katrina. We're going to talk about that. And let's get to where we're supposed to be, which is week 10 of What Did Prince Do This Week? 6 live shows, and we had stops in Salisbury, Maryland, Norfolk, Virginia, Columbus, Georgia, Monroe, Louisiana, Huntsville, Alabama, Knoxville, Tennessee.
I was 13 years old, went and entered a radio contest, WEUP in Huntsville, Alabama. The prize was 2 tickets, a backstage pass, a limo ride, and dinner with one of the members from the time.
This week in 1983, on the 1983 leg of the 1999 tour, Prince did 5 live shows. He did 1 after show, and he did 1 studio visit. So you can see that on Sunday, he was at Kalamazoo, Michigan. On Monday, he recorded Strange Relationship. And then on Tuesday, he played a sold out show at Bloomington, Minnesota. And then after the Bloomington show, there is this after show. And then we have the Rockford, Illinois show. And then we have the Omaha, Nebraska show. And then he was in Kansas City, Missouri on that Saturday. So, what did Prince do this week in 1983, week 12? So, Prince did 3 live shows and there was 1 studio visit. And you can see that on Monday of last week, Prince in 1983, on March 21st, did a show at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. So I'm very excited to talk about that. And then on Thursday, there was a show at San Antonio, Texas. And then on Friday, Norman, Oklahoma. And then on Saturday, there was a little ditty that was recorded called Jungle Love.
We are face to face doing this. Like, this is crazy. Where you want to sit? 2 different cities, 2 different coasts.
So, what did Prince do in week 13 of 1983? He did 6 live shows and 2 studio visits. We got Chlorine Bacon Skin. Yeah. Woo! And we got My Summertime Thing. So it sold out in Universal City, California on that Monday. Then on Tuesday, he was in San Diego. Then on Wednesday, he was in Phoenix. Then on Thursday, he was in Long Beach, California, and he went back into the studio. So not only did he do a tour date, he also went back in the studio. So that's where the 2 studio dates come from this week. Then on Friday, he's in Oakland, California. And then on Saturday, he is in Fresno, California. So this is what Prince did this week in 1983. Week 14. So this week, Prince had 5 live shows and 1 TV show taping. Basically, this week, we had shows in Oakland, California. Prince does the taping of Little Red Corvette on Solid Gold. And then he has a sold-out show in Denver, Colorado on the 5th. He goes to Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the 7th, Detroit on the 8th, which is also sold out. Saturday, Richfield, Ohio. Before we do, let's talk about week 15 really quickly. So we got 1 live show and we got 4 studio visits this week of week 15. 3 songs were tracked on Sunday. The final show for the 1999 tour was in Chicago, Chi-Town. On Monday, they took a break. I don't believe that. So I'm curious, like, what else was going on that's not documented. And then on Tuesday, the 12th, we have the bird that's being tracked. And then on Wednesday, supposedly there's nothing. I don't believe it. So again, maybe we need to do some more research. And then on Thursday, we had an untitled song, which eventually became Chili Sauce, and then a mix of My Summertime Thing. Then on Friday, Proposition 17, which was, I guess, the tentative title of Chili Sauce. And then on Saturday, he goes back, Proposition 17, and If the Kid Can't Make You Come. I am so excited to have Mignon here because I couldn't find anything about the Chicago show. And the Chicago show happened on Sunday, April 10th, 1983, at the University of Illinois Chicago Pavilion in Chicago, Illinois. And Mignon was actually there.
Mm,
Yes. And this is Mignon's ticket.
wow.
And you can see that the ticket was $13.
$13.50. Can you imagine that?
So this week, Prince had 5 studio visits and tracked 4 songs. He continues to work on Proposition 17, which is Chili Sauce, continues to work on If the Kid Can't Make You Come, continues to work on My Summertime Thing, but he starts Chocolate, which is one of my favorites. Love, 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 love chocolate. Well, last week was definitely the time week. And what did Prince do this week? This week, he sort of sprinkles some Vanity 6 on there. So if you go on Wednesday of this week, you'll see he starts working on Velvet Kitty Cat for Vanity 6. And we'll get into this, but then he continues to work on Chocolate on Thursday and Friday. I'm sorry, Chocolate. You have to do it that way. Week 17 of What Did Prince Do This Week? So here we go in 1983. There is one studio event. Mignon,
It's a good idea.
you're trying to give me more work to do, but that is a great idea, Mignon. What Did Prince Do This Week playlists are needed. You are absolutely right. I might even have to start that. Okay, so this week there was one studio visit and 2 songs were tracked. 2 songs were Sex Shooter and Promise to Be True. So let's get into week 18. We only had 1 studio visit this week. I never trust anything that says 1 for the week, but this is according to the book. 1 studio visit, 2 songs were tracked. Whenever I see a week like this, it's suspect to me, Michael Dean. I don't know about you, but I was like, I doubt Prince took 6
Well,
days off, but
I will say I can't believe we're talking about a young Prince, 1999, going to Purple Rain. Prince was busy in the studio. He's busy outside the studio. You know, the other book would be like Prince the Lover or something. That chronicled the other days when he was like, man, why you not recording? He was doing other art. He was doing other art.
make sure I play the right song. So we are going to transition
Woo!
to
That was an intro, goddamn.
I love the conversation. I got something out of it. I hope that you did too. It's just that I'm also an audio snob, but not to the level, obviously, as Big Sexy. So I always like to hear from the real audio snobs. Week 19, we're finally here. And I put 2 studio visits. There's a reason why I did the question mark. 1 song track. This week is Modern Air / Promise to Be True. In the book, basically says May 1983, date uncertain for Modern Air, and then date uncertain for Modern Air, Promise to Be True. So that's the reason why I have this line going across, because we don't quite know if this is even the week, but so we don't know. Week 20.
All right.
2 studio visits this week, 2 songs tracked. Possessed. Let's Go Crazy, which isn't the Let's Go Crazy we know. And then we're also going to talk about the 3rd annual Minnesota Music Awards and a First Avenue really guest appearance. It wasn't really a proper performance.
All right. So we here at week 21, 1983. He did 3 studio visits. So I had 2 songs that were tracked. This was what Prince did this particular week. So from the 23rd through the 28th, and we can see we've got Possessed, which we talked about last week, which you started last week, Possessed and G-Spot. I will say before we get into these songs, we can only cover what's in the book, but I wonder what happened this week that inspired these songs, because my man must have been busy. Like he was definitely in a different space. What was going on? Because it's an interesting week of music.
All right, so week 22. According to Duane's book, nothing happened this week in terms of studio stuff. I find that very, very hard to believe. But I was telling Michael earlier, maybe Prince is thinking about Purple Rain, the film, and rehearsing. And
So we are at week 23. We've had one studio visit this week. On Tuesday, Prince's birthday, we had the one studio visit here. Wednesday, June 8th, 1983. Moonbeam Levels.
let's get into week 24. We have one rehearsal and one studio visit. They all happen on the one day, which is Wednesday, June 15th of 1983. There was possible overdubs and a cassette copy made of Moral Majority. There was a rehearsal. The Warehouse, St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
Week 25. That's all that we had this week was a rehearsal on the 21st that contained I Would Die for You, Baby I'm a Star, and Body Heat. Now that's how you start. This makes you want to come here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the world famous What Did Prince Do This Week podcast with your hosts, D'Angela and Michael Dean. And then you just take over from there, Dan.
I am so excited to be back with you for week 26 of What Did Prince Do This Week. He did one studio visit and one award ceremony. There's another studio visit we're going to talk about, but Prince wasn't there. On Monday of this week, Prince went to the studio, recorded an unknown song that we don't know nothing about, but we're going to read about it. And then on Tuesday, there was supposedly a tape that was sent to Sunset Sound for a 24-track transfer of Chocolata, which is one of my favorite time songs. And then on Wednesday, Prince attended the second Minnesota Black Music Awards. So let's get into week 27. We're not going to stay in week 27 very long because look at there. Look at that.
That's rare.
We are going to talk about week 28 of 1983. We got one rehearsal and one studio visit. On Tuesday, we got a rehearsal of Baby I'm a Star. And on Saturday, he finally went in the studio and tracked I Know What to Say to You. And we're going to get into that. I'm super excited for week 29 of What Did Prince Do This Week? Nothing really happened. And so we're going to talk about why. And I'm going to give my disclaimer. I don't believe it, but maybe he's thinking and all that. We have a very, 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 very special guest. And you guys should know who it is because I told you it's somebody that we talk about every week. So our very special guest is none other than Mr. Eric Green.
A smattering of applause.
We are going to transition to week 30 of What Did Prince Do This Week. We do want to talk about Darling Nikki. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through week 31 of What Did Prince Do This Week. All right, that's all you're going to get because you know how it goes with the Prince deletes. Michael knows my running byline with this. I don't believe this because I think Prince did more than this, but obviously we don't have all the documentation.
This is what we know, not everything.
Yes, this is
what I like that. What did Prince do this week, aka what we know?
Yeah, not comprehensive because it's also there's some ladies in there. It's not on the calendar. You know, he was a busy man.
We're going to transition into August of 1983. On Wednesday, we have our historic First Avenue show. On Thursday, the tracks were reviewed from the previous night's concert, and they were reviewed at his home at Coward Trail Home. And as we all should know, this is actually what Prince always did. He did a show, he would review the show, but this time it was a very special show. And that he was like thinking about what songs he would take to overdub for his phenomenal Purple Rain album. And then on Saturday, we had no music recorded at the warehouse. And I think David Leonard might have been there by himself. But we're at week 32 of What Did Prince Do This Week? Today, we are going to continue talking about the First Avenue August 3rd show. And we have a very, very special guest. And I want to actually play a little intro for them. And we're going to bring them on the stage. So here we go.
Dr. Fink on keyboards.
We're going to get into week 32 of What Did Prince Do This Week? So we had 2 studio visits, basic tracking and overdubs of Let's Go Crazy, as well as basic tracking of Computer Blue on Sunday and Monday.
And I see Yoda is here. Obi-Wan.
For those of you who may not know, this is What Did Prince Do This Week? And we are at week 33. This week, there were 7 studio visits and 1 live show appearance, which is James Brown. And then also Delirious was released this week, 5 out of the 7 days. He's working on Computer Blue in terms of overdubs, string overdubs, possibly a live recording of Possessed in the warehouse, but it was aborted. And then this was the basic tracking of 17 Days with Brenda. Then we had more string overdubs for Baby I'm a Star and Purple Rain. And then we've already been talking about August the 20th because I've been on my James Brown kick. And James Brown, Michael Jackson, and Prince appear on stage for the first and only time. It was actually a historic moment, thanks to Michael Jackson, actually, because Michael got James Brown to call Prince up on the stage. Week 34. What did Prince do this week? I got to give a shout out to Coco. I died laughing when I read this. Thank goodness for What Did Prince Do This Week? Because the thought of going through those big ASS books by myself was low-key intimidating and overwhelming. So it's nice having Purple Fam to go through this book with. So this week, Prince was only in the studio supposedly one day on Sunday, the 21st. And I love this quote from Peggy Mack. This was a great song. It just took forever. 7 days and counting just on Computer Blue. Good morning, Michael Dean. How you feeling this day?
I'm good. How are you, D'Angelo?
I am fantastic because there's something in the water. But we're going to talk about that later because we are talking about what did Prince do this week? Yeah. And what we're going to talk about today, Computer Blue. Again, multiple times, and the Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe. And let's get into week 35. So 6 days in the studio. Computer Blue overdubs on Monday. Computer Blue overdubs on Tuesday. Computer Blue overdubs on Wednesday. I Would Die For You overdubs Thursday. I Would Die For You. Guitar overdubs. Baby I'm a Star. Guitar overdubs. I Would Die For You. Vocal overdubs and other overdubs. Baby I'm a Star. Vocal overdubs and other overdubs. I can't even say it.
We back to work, y'all. That's what Prince is back to work.
This is when
Now,
you're
this is a book club, but the book club where they be jamming.
Okay, 10 days and counting for Computer Blue. All right, welcome to week 36 of What Did Prince Do This Week? I'm super excited about this week, and you'll understand why when we go to the calendar, because bam, 7 days in the studio. All this week, we're at Sunset Sound, Los Angeles, California. And on Sunday, September 4th, 15 and a half hours of Baby I'm a Star vocal overdubs. So we're going to move on to Monday, September 5th, 1983. We have 11 and a half hours on vocal and synth overdubs for Baby I'm a Star. Tuesday, September 6th, we're still working on Baby I'm a Star overdubs. So this is 3 straight days in a row. Wednesday, which is September 7th. And guess what? We're still working on Baby I'm a Star, 4th day in a row, overdubs. So Thursday, we have I Am 5, some tracking and overdubs. Now we're at Friday, finally. And guess what we are working on today? Baby I'm a Star, more overdubs. Saturday, September 10th, there is overdubs of Baby I'm a Star. Week 37.
Outrageous.
7 studio visits this week. Look at that, Michael Dean.
Ooh, working.
So Sunday, we got overdubs for Baby I'm a Star. We got a remix of Baby I'm a Star. We got overdubs and a mix of Electric Intercourse. We got vocal overdubs for Purple Rain on Tuesday. We got a mix of Purple Rain on Wednesday. We got more mixing of Purple Rain. We got mixing and overdubs for Irresistible B. We got overdubs for G-Spot on Friday, as well as Irresistible B, mix and overdubs. And then on Saturday, we got Wendy and Lisa vocal overdubs for Irresistible B. I think everybody's here because they're waiting for somebody to join us. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I hope that Miles Marshall Lewis is ready. Are you ready, Miles?
See me? I think we're ready.
Hold up, boy.
Yo, what's up, man? What's going on? Working it like a job?
Yes, sir. Now that you're here.
Week 38, we had 4 studio visits, and then there are 2 songs that are tracked. This week, Prince took a break, maybe. And we got 4 out of 7 days at Sunset Sound, still working on Purple Rain. On Sunday, September 18th, did overdubs and mixes for Irresistible B, tracking of In Section, Darling Nikki, 17 days. And then Duane has something called Long Studio Jam with Wendy, Lisa, Morris Day, and Prince. He does not have Sleazy or Cheesy. September 19th, Prince was in the studio for 11.5 hours. The Tuesday, September 20th, the beautiful ones, basic tracking and mix. For Wednesday, September 21st, 1983, page 178.
7 cassettes were created of this collection of tracks, probably for the director, the record label, and members of the band. The purpose for this collection is unclear. It is likely that these tapes were distributed so Prince could choreograph the moves during these songs as well as the other live tracks they'd be performing during the movie. But if that was the case, he didn't include Let's Go Crazy and Darling Nikki, and there was no reason to include Irresistible Bitch. A safety copy of Promise to Be True was also created. It is unclear if additional work on the track had taken place. The following day, September 22nd, Prince's management sent a letter of intent to First Avenue offering $100,000 for the use of the main room in the movie.
We are excited to be here for week 39 of What Did Prince Do This Week? I'm excited because we have an incredible, amazing guest. I can't wait for us to chop it up with none other than Jesse Jenkins. So we only have one day we're going to talk about, and then we're going to actually transition and talk to Jesse about Mentor Newark and the fantastic exhibition that they have there that was curated by some brilliant high school students. Before then, we are going to talk about this copy made of Irresistible B on Wednesday, September 28th. We are week 40 of What Did Prince Do This Week? There's only one studio visit. He did go to the warehouse to review a 24-track recording of The Bird and Jungle Love. And from the First Avenue show the previous night, let's give a grand welcome to the one and only Matt Thorne, who is the author of this. I have the first edition. Unfortunately, Matt, I have the second edition on Kindle, and I realized, you know what? I probably should have bought the physical book.
I can hold up the other one, the new edition.
There you go. There we go. Look, there we go. So this is the first edition, and that's the second edition. Week number 41. If you know anything about diamonds and pearls, we have Pearl with us. Let's welcome Robin.
Woo! It's a party in here. Hold on. Is it Saturday morning or is it Friday night? What? Hey, everybody. So glad to be on with y'all. Looking forward to our little chat. What did Prince do this week? I don't know. Tell me. What did he do?
Guess what? We still got to do what did Prince do this week? One rehearsal with the Revolution at the Warehouse at St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Welcome to week 42 of What Did Prince Do This Week. This is the kind of mood I'm in. It's like I'm like moving like a snail, trying to get my box set, and the day won't come. I'm going like, when it's gonna come, when it's gonna come.
This makes me want to get up. This is the snail's pace. I'm like,
Only one studio visit, and it was for Sex Shooter. And this is Duane's words, Apollonia Vocals' first attempt. He's not quite sure like what day, but somewhere in this week this happened. So that's the reason why it's gone across like that.
This will be the day.
oh, I like that. Hit that one more time.
So this is a number you guys can call 253-205-0220 because we want to like get into the excitement because we don't have ours yet. So we need to get the energy from you to tide us over until we can get our copy in our hand. Yeah, call us.
Come here.
Mr. Dean, what's up, man? This is Simon Stone. What's up, bro?
What up, Simon? Man, you
Hi,
jumped
Simon.
in quick. So we need to hear your story, sir. You tell us about the excitement of getting that box.
Oh man, let me tell you. So originally, Amazon said it wasn't gonna be here till like 10, right? So my Prince wife Roseanne, we were kind of like joking about it. We were sending memes. How we didn't like it this morning with,
Simon?
Yeah.
I'm just sorry. It's early over here. I might have misheard. Did you say my Prince wife?
Oh yeah, Roseanne and I. It's like a running joke we have. We call each other Prince wife and Prince husband.
Hilarious.
So we have a guest. I'm so excited. Hi, Lee. Welcome.
What's up, Lee?
So this week in 1983, there were 3 studio visits. And there was one on Sunday for Wednesday, basic tracking. On Monday, there was more basic tracking, vocals by Prince, vocals by JJ. And then sometime we don't really know, Duane is estimating that perhaps the piano and the microphone, 1983, was recorded around this time. Okay, so week 44, I'm going to try to do this super fast because we have guests and I don't like to keep guests waiting. And we're going to start off with the one and only. There can be no other. And that is Darlene Nisi. Welcome so much.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to bring on the stage India. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
And last, definitely not least, is Adria Reynolds. Welcome.
Yeah.
The jewel for me was seeing that video of the hologram. Can you talk a little bit about what that was like, seeing that in person at Paisley Park, on the Paisley Park soundstage? Week 44 of What Did Prince Do This Week? So I would very much like anyone out there who's a part of the What Did Prince Do This Week community to actually help me fact check. Maybe I missed a song or I got my numbers wrong. So just correct me if something's out of whack, because I want the data to be as accurate as possible. In terms of this week, there's been 5 days of shooting. The Purple Rain film production officially began on Tuesday, and then there are certain scenes that were filmed this week. Some pretty key scenes, actually, which I was shocked to know that some of these key scenes were filmed during the very first week. One on Wednesday, I couldn't quite figure out what was filmed on Tuesday, and you'll understand where I got this information from in a hot second. But on Wednesday, Apollonia's Lake Minnetonka, and I'm putting that in quotation marks because we all know that that's not really Lake Minnetonka. On the second day of shooting, that Apollonia had to do that scene. So she was literally baptized in the waters of Lake Minnetonka on the very second day of shooting, which is crazy to think about. And then what's even crazier is that on the third day of shooting was the unreleased barn scene that we all have seen in the trailer. Then on Friday, I call it the Chase Alley scene, when basically Apollonia and Morris Day are about to get into the car. And then Prince comes out of nowhere on his motorcycle. He kind of kicks Morris Day off. They did that Friday. So like all of these key scenes are being filmed like right off the bat. Then on Saturday, there was one more scene, and I couldn't quite figure out which scene this was, but it's an internal scene with Morris in the car. So again, week 45 this week, we had 2 studio visits while also having 6 days of shooting for the Purple Rain film.
Nice.
And we went back to Sex Shooter. Remember, we had a first attempt back in October, but I think this is the second attempt of vocals for Apollonia. There was like a compilation of the Purple Rain soundtrack on Monday, but also filming Prince Races Train. And then there's 2 days of Prince Racing Train. I can't get all of the scenes in this little calendar, obviously. So I just got like the key scenes or the scenes that triggered for me. And then Wednesday, Prince sees mom on side of the road. Everybody should know what that scene is if you've seen Purple Rain. And then everybody definitely should remember the dumpster scene that was filmed on Thursday. There are multiple Apollonia scenes, too many to name, filmed on Friday. And then one of my favorite scenes in Purple Rain, because it also comes back up in Sign of Times Live, is the whole mall shop, the interior of the mall shop windows when they see the guitar. And I don't know why I love that scene. And then I also love the scene in Sign of Times when he goes, come here, look, and I don't know, when I see one, I think of the other one.
Mia Boca Electric Boogaloo T remix. Turbo on Ozone.
Week 46. So what did Prince do this week? We are in November, and this past week in 1983, there have been 6 days of filming Purple Rain. Week 47 of what did Prince do this week? And we had 1 studio visit as well as 5 days of shooting Purple Rain. We're going to be shooting Purple Rain for all of December. On Sunday, there were overdubs for Father's Song. Then there are 5 days of shooting, and you can see I basically highlighted my favorite scenes, but there are usually more than one scene. I haven't been consistent with this, but when I have the plus sign, that means there are more scenes. So one of my favorite scenes is when Morris is vacuuming his, his room. Everybody should know what I mean by basement guitar, when Apollonia gives Prince the guitar. And then Prince decks dad. Everybody should know about Prince's dad at the piano when he says never married. And then Saturday is Dad Aftermath, all the basement scenes in Prince going crazy, bashing stuff up and all that. So we're going to take just a very small break from our Purple Rain shooting to talk about a couple of things that I forgot to point out when we went through the calendar. One, on Wednesday, November 23rd, 1983, the Let's Pretend We're Married US 7-inch single was released. But what was odd to me, the 12-inch was released a week earlier. This is week 49 and 50 of what did Prince do this week. So one of the reasons why we got C. Lee here is we are definitely going to do a debrief of last weekend for the Time is in Peril Super Deluxe Virtual Celebration. We're also going to have Arthur join us a little bit later, but we do want to get our What Did Prince Do This Week on first. We're not as far along as I wanted, but we have a very special guest.
Bring CV in to slow the show down. That's
We're going to bring Arthur on the stage. Welcome so much, Arthur, for being here.
How y'all doing? It's good to be back.
What's up, bro?
Hey, boy.
All right, so we are gonna end here, even though we can go on forever, and we really didn't even get to what did Prince do this week.
I was going to ask that question. What did he do this week?
He was filming Rain.
According to the book, he ain't do a damn thing. According to the book. According to the book, he didn't do a damn thing. Come back next week. We'll pick up with Prince not doing a damn thing.
Well, technically that is correct. In the book, Duane actually doesn't cover the filming of Purple Rain because it is the studio sessions book. So that's the reason why. But what I will do really quickly, even though I hadn't planned on it, just for time's sake, we can look at the calendar. We're supposed to cover the past 2 weeks because we didn't do what did Prince do this week last week, and we really didn't do it this week either. So you can see that he was filming at First Avenue for essentially 11 out of the 12 days. Hopefully you will return next week for what did Prince do this week, and we'll have to catch up and do 3 weeks of filming with the quickness. So let's get into week 49 of 51. We're going to try to cover 16 days of shooting Purple Rain. I don't know if we're going to get through 16 days, but we're going to try. The majority of the dates were in First Avenue. Actually, all of them were in First Avenue the past 3 weeks. If you read everything that's in the shooting script, you'll see that they kind of stayed in First Avenue for the rest of the time. Supposedly, this will be the final week of shooting for the film. We are at week 52, our last show of the year. 5 studio visits, 1 jam session, and look at that, 5 songs. Yes, that deserves a clap. 5 songs and some incredible songs. On Tuesday, we got basic tracking and sax overdubs for The Glamorous Life. On Wednesday, we got Glamorous Life. We got Prince and Jill Jones background vocals. We got Next Time Wipe the Lipstick Off Your Collar, basic tracking. We have an unreleased tune called Blue Love, basic tracking. Then on Thursday, you thought Prince was smoking with Glamorous Life. We got, I don't even know how to describe She's Always in My Hair. It's like,
It's the classic B-side.
let's get to Friday. So Friday, there was Weekend Funk. I'll say that, even though it was really probably the other version. Be My Hero, jam. Baby Knows, jam. And then on Saturday, he goes back to Weekend, but it was listed as The Dawn. So we brought Scott on because Scott was a Purple Rain extra who was really close.
Oh, wow.
Action.
And I got to be there for every day of the shooting at First Avenue. Minneapolis, there's pre-Purple Rain and post-Purple Rain. Everything changed.
I humbly ask of you to please let your Prince Purple people know about this What Did Prince Do This Week series. Have them subscribe, like, and help spread the word. Again, because I think Duane's work is important, but more important than that, I think it's important to dive a little deeper on a weekly basis of what Prince was doing to inspire us to do more in our weeks. Or I'll take that on myself, inspire me to do more with my weeks. And Michael Dean is all about working it like a job.
You already know. So let's go. Can you do me one favor?
Yeah.
Can you start that over?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on before you start that.
Okay.
Go ahead. I forgot all about that. That is so cool. This and good morning, everybody. So we coming in Christopher Tracy style sequel where he lived, and he comes in. Are you ready, D'Angelo?
I'm ready.
Tricky, my boy. Our world.
Good morning. Yeah. Yes, Pamela. What's up, Nick? It is morning time.
We're gonna almost feel like this could have been a song.
What you say? Say it again. What did you just say?
It's gonna get lit in here. Whoa. That'd have been late Prince, early the later Prince. He probably would have throw in the slang with the kids be singing. Oh, this was or this reminds me of this is the grandmother, yeah.
Yes. I love this song.
Now you can't not hear that. It's lit in here. That'll be the next album by the Estate. It's lit in here. They'll be trying to tell us he did record that back then. Like, he'd be early, but was he that early? I don't know. Anyway.